Hello everyone and welcome back to One Soccer. I'm your host for today, Josh Deming, and we are back with another episode of our Canadians Abroad series. This week we are going to take a look at Tajon Buchanan, who returned for Club Bruges and scored a goal, Eustaquio, who picked up a couple goal contributions, and we are going to take a look at a few Canadians who picked up some silverware over the weekend. Hopefully you guys are all excited, and if you are, as always, be sure to drop a like, drop a sub, and let's get into the updates now. We are going to kick off this episode heading over to Germany to take a look at Alphonso Davies, who was in action over the weekend. Davies started and played all 90 minutes as a left back in a 4-2-3-1 system. Davies created one chance, had one shot, completed 89% of his passes. He had 93 touches, 7 recoveries, and he had 11 passes in the final third. Bayern haven't won in 4 consecutive matches in the Bundesliga. However, they ended that run as they dominated Leverkusen, winning 4-0, and with that result, Bayern remained third place in the table with a 4-3-1 record. Davies has looked so impressive all season long. He's one of the most attacking fullbacks in the world right now, and he's really also worked on his defensive game. One thing I've really liked about Alphonso Davies this season is not just his ability to get forward, which we know he can do, but is having the presence of mind to take a look around and know when and when not to join the attack. And what I mean by that is sometimes when Bayern gets the ball and they put bodies forward, Davies will take a look around and realize that this probably isn't the best opportunity to join the attack, and it's hard to do when you're an attacking player like that, but that is the part of his game right now. He's working on his defensive mindset, and when he sees the opportunities there to maybe hang back, he always does it, and it's really impressed me. We are stopping on over in France right now to take a look at Jonathan David, who started over the weekend, starting and playing 90 minutes as a striker in a 4-2-3-1 system. In the match, David had 5 shots, created 2 chances, he had 29 touches, he hit the woodwork once, however he did eventually find the back of the net. It was a very well worked team goal for Lille as Bamba was slipped through and squared the ball for Jonathan David to tap home into an empty net, scoring his 6th goal of the season. He has now scored in back-to-back matches for Lille, bringing his total tally to 6 goals and 2 assists in 9 matches so far. He is tied for 3rd place in the scoring race, and he is also tied for 3rd place in the goal contribution race. Unfortunately for Lille, they went on to lose the match 2-1 against Lorient to drop down to 8th place in the table with a 4-1-4 record. Lille have now conceded 18 goals so far this season and will need to tighten up at the back if they want to start pushing up the table. Paulo Fonseca has turned Lille into a very attack-minded side, and Jonathan David is really thriving under it. Despite the results not going the club's way, Jonathan David is in great form for Lille. He's doing it for Canada, and after the World Cup, there's no doubt in my mind some massive clubs are going to come and take a look at him, and I'm still thinking that Manchester United are going to be one of them. There's a lot of rumors going out there right now that Cristiano Ronaldo could head to Saudi Arabia or some other club or country like that, and that's going to open up an opportunity for Jonathan David to maybe make that big move, so keep an eye on David to United. Moving along to Portugal now, we are going to take a look at Eustaquio, who was back in action over the weekend. Eustaquio started for the 6th consecutive match in a row, playing 85 minutes as a center mid in a 4-4-2 system. Steph created 3 chances, had 51 touches, he had 2 shots, 5 recoveries, he scored his first goal for Porto and his first goal of the season while also picking up an assist. His goal was taken by a player who was clearly playing with confidence, as on the counter the ball was squared for him. He took the pass well, took a touch, and slammed it in the back of the net, avoiding both the defender and the keeper, who scrambled to try to stop it. Eustaquio's assist was also a thing of beauty as he delicately crossed the ball for the back post for Ivan Ilson to basically walk into the net. Porto went on to win the match 4-1 over Braga to now sit with a 6-1-1 record and 2nd place in the table. Eustaquio is now a lock in that Porto starting 11. He looks like a player who's only going to get better as the season progresses. This was his best performance to date with Porto, and with the World Cup coming up, Canadian fans must love what they are seeing out of Eustaquio, especially after impressing the September window. This has truly been a remarkable rise for Eustaquio to think of where he was last season, earning that move to FC Porto, waiting, breaking into the starting 11, and now becoming such a valuable player where he's scoring goals, picking up assists, and just looks like the total complete package. We are heading to Belgium to take a look at Tajon Buchanan, who, for the first time this season, returned to action for Club Bruges, beginning the match on the bench. He was subbed into the match in the 58th minute, and like Tajon so often does, made an impact, scoring his first goal of the season on a cross which came off his back and somehow found the back of the net. Club Bruges ended up winning the match 3-0 and currently sit 3rd place in the table with a 7-1-2 record. This was a great return to action for Buchanan, and it's now very important for him to continue with this momentum and try to break back into the starting 11. With league matches in the Champions League, he'll have the opportunity to do so, and hopefully Kyle Larin will as well. Larin wasn't a part of this matchday squad, although he will be a part of Club Bruges' squad when they host Atletico Madrid midweek. Tajon Buchanan has been a starter for Club Brugge ever since making the move there. He's mainly featured as a left wing back and a right wing back, but now that Club Brugge are playing this 4-3-3 system, I'm very intrigued to see what he will look like playing for Club Brugge, playing as a left winger or a right winger. We get to see him playing further up the pitch, showing those attacking attributes that we love, and I can't wait to see it. Maxime Crepeau was in action for LAFC over the weekend, starting in goal in a 4-3-3 system. In the match, Crepeau made 6 saves, he had 41 touches, 13 recoveries, and faced an XG of 1.05, conceding 1 goal as LAFC scored a late 95th minute winner to go on to win the match 2-1 against Portland. They finished off the season in first place in the West with a 21-4-8 record and have secured the Supporters' Shield. This is Crepeau's first trophy of his career, so it will definitely mean a lot to him, and to do it in his first season with LAFC is very impressive because there was at one point a lot of uncertainty about how LAFC would be this season. They had a lot of new players, a new coach, but they somehow find a way to keep it together to win their second Supporters' Shield. They went on to add a lot of big name players as well, like Chiellini and Bale, and it didn't really seem to help LAFC for a while as they slipped up from time to time, but they came together at the end to get this piece of silverware, which could be huge for them to lift the confidence, get the players with that winning mentality heading into playoffs. Maxime Crepeau wasn't the only player to win a shield over the weekend, as Jordan Huitema and Quinn also did it in the NWSL. Over the weekend, Jordan Huitema started and played 78 minutes as a striker in a 4-2-3-1 system. Huitema had 2 shots, 40 touches, she created 3 chances, scored a goal, and picked up an assist, and was also the player of the match. She took her goal really well, running onto a perfect through ball from Quinn, skipped past the keeper, and tucked it into the empty net. Her assist was nice as well, as she showed great vision squaring the ball for Megan Rapinoe to easily finish off. Quinn also had an impressive match, featuring as a CDM in the double pivot. She had 49 touches, 2 shots, she created 2 chances, and her assist for Huitema was her first one of the season. Hoilett went on to win the match 3-0 to finish first place in the table with an 11-7-4 record, winning the NWSL Shield. Huitema and Quinn picked up their first piece of silverware with OL and will be looking to go on a deep playoff run as they've won 4 matches in a row and have won 6 out of their last 7. They are the hottest team in the league right now, and Huitema is starting to find her form, which can be massive for them come playoff time. It took a little bit of time for Jordan Huitema to get used to playing back in North America, but she's finally looking like she's really starting to find her feet, getting these impressive performances in, and it couldn't come at a better time. We have some injury news update as well, as Atiba Hutchinson has returned to full training, which is fantastic to hear. The original timeline was for him to return towards the end of October as per John Herdman's statements, but right now it's looking like he could potentially return to action a little bit earlier. The sooner the better. Atiba Hutchinson has been out for a very long time. He is approaching 40 years old. We want to see him get back with Besiktas, start playing, start training, because we want to see this man at Qatar. He's deserved it. He's been a Canadian legend. He's only 3 caps away right now from hitting 100 caps, and to do that at the World Cup will be very, very special for him and for every Canadian out there. So this is a very positive step right now. We'll have to see how he progresses. Moving along to England now, we are going to take a look at Junior Hoilett, who was in action over the weekend. Hoilett started and played all 90 minutes as a right wing back in a 3-5-2 system. In the match, Hoilett created 1 chance, had 47 touches, 3 clearances, and 6 recoveries. Reading went on to win the match 3-1 over Huddersfield Town to sit 3rd place in the table with a 7-0-3 record. This position change has been incredible so far for Hoilett. He's been a very attack-minded player his entire career, and he's just been asked at club level to play as a wingback, and now he's also been asked at international level to play at a wingback, and he's relishing this opportunity. He's really invented this defensive side that I didn't even know he had to his game. He's very calm on the ball. He's great going forward. He's great coming back. This has been really impressive so far. And for a club like Reading, who is expected to be fighting relegation, for them to be sitting in a promotion place right now with a player like Junior Hoilett shifting out and playing as a wingback, and then repeating that type of form for the national team as well, because I thought he looked very impressive for Canada over the international break, has just been spectacular to watch. Can't wait to see how Junior Hoilett's going to be used going forward for Reading as well as for Canada. Staying in England, we are going to take a look at Theo Corbeanu, who was also in action over the weekend. Corbeanu started and played 84 minutes as a right wing in a 4-3-3 system. Corbeanu had 2 shots, 42 touches, he had 4 successful dribbles, and he hit the woodwork once, coming very close to scoring a goal. This was another positive match from Corbeanu. He was running at defenders all night long, and it looked like if Blackpool was going to get anything out of this match, it was going to come through Theo. Blackpool unfortunately went on to lose the match 1-0 in the end against Norwich City to sit 19th place in the table with a 3-2-6 record. Theo has been very impressive so far this season, really taking the opportunity that he's been given to step up and become a demanding attacking player for this team. Unfortunately right now, Blackpool have been struggling and they're slipping down the table, and they got to be careful, otherwise they're going to be potentially in a relegation battle this season. Elsewhere in NWSL action, we had the Houston Dash line up in a 4-3-3 system with Alicia Chapman starting at left back, Sophia Schmidt starting at center mid, and Nichelle Prince starting at left wing. Chapman played 45 minutes, Prince played 88, while Schmidt played the entire match and had a very strong performance once again in the heart of the midfield, as she was the player of the match as well. Houston went on to win the match 2-1 against the Washington Spirit, and with the result, Houston end off the season in 4th place with a 10-6-6 record and will play Kansas City Current in the first round of playoffs. Moving along to Italy now, we are going to take a look at Giulia Grosso, who started on the bench over the weekend but was substituted into the match in the 55th minute as a center mid in a 4-3-3 system. Grosso looked strong coming off the bench as Juve were 1 goal down and 1 player up, and they went into cruise control from that point on as they ended up winning the match 3-0 over Inter to sit 4th place in the table with a 3-2-0 record. Grosso started the first 2 matches of the season, however she hasn't started since. She will have some work to do if she wants to get back into the starting 11, although coming off the bench early in this match and showing a strong performance against Inter could go a long way to potentially earning a start in the coming weeks. This was expected to be a breakout season for Grosso. She had a really strong start to it. It's kind of tailing off a little bit, not getting the starts, but it's a long season to go and she's going to be doing everything she can to break back into that starting 11. Moving along now to Serbia, we are going to take a look at Milan Borjan, who started in goal over the weekend and played all 90 minutes, picking up a clean sheet as Red Star went on to win the match 4-0 to sit first place in the table with a 9-2-0 record. It was another really impressive performance from both Borjan and Red Star as their attention will now shift to the Europa League when this Thursday they take on Ferencváros. After losing their 2 first opening matches of the tournament so far, they will definitely need a result if they want any chance to make it out of the group. We are now going to take a look at another Canadian striker in Liga, and that is Ike Ugbo, who did not start over the weekend, but he was subbed into the match in the 64th minute to try and help his side look for the equalizer, which did eventually come in the 90th minute as Troyes went on to draw the match 2-2 against Reims. With that result, they now sit 11th place in the table with a 3-2-4 record. Ugbo has only started once in the last 5 matches, and in that match he started, he was subbed off at halftime. He has been on the outside looking in so far this season and needs to make his time on the pitch count if he wants any opportunity to win his starting place back. Ike Ugbo has only scored once so far this season, and he's even been used as a right and left midfielder. That's not where he wants to play. It's not where we want to see him play. We want to see him show his incredible goal scoring ability to start as a number 9, but unfortunately right now it's Mama Baldé. He's the guy that is preferred. All Ike Ugbo can do is try to be patient, wait for that opportunity to prove what a talented goal scorer he truly is. Heading back to Germany, we are going to check in on Scott Kennedy, who started and played 90 minutes as an outside left center back in a 3-4-2-1 system. In the match, Kennedy had 61 touches, 7 clearances, 7 recoveries, he had 2 blocks, and he won all of his aerial and ground duels as Jan Regensburg went on to lose the match 1-0 to sit 12th place in the table with a 3-2-5 record. Kennedy has now started 4 matches in a row, playing 90 minutes in all of them. He's back to being a starter once again. He's putting in a strong run of results. There were times last season where Scott Kennedy wasn't a lock to start with his club, but he was still called up to the national team. He had a very poor start to this season, not given the opportunity to get barely any minutes, and John Herman still gave him the opportunity to come up to play for Canada. Now the fact that he is starting, there's almost no way that Herman's not going to bring him on that plane ride to Qatar, but it's great to see right now because Scott Kennedy, despite the performances not going his way, is playing some very good football right now and could become an important piece for Canada come World Cup time. Heading on over to Greece now, we are going to take a look at Derek Cornelius, who started over the weekend. Cornelius started and played 90 minutes as a center back in a 4-5-1 system. Cornelius completed 81% of his passes, he had 9 clearances, 3 interceptions, he won all of his aerial duels, and he picked up an assist as well. He had another strong match, continuing with his very impressive start to the season as Panathinaikos went on to win the match 4-1 to sit 6th place in the table with a 3-1-2 record. Derek Cornelius has done everything right so far, in my opinion, to deserve a World Cup spot. However, it's far from guaranteed. He's got to compete with players like Scott Kennedy and Joel Waterman, but if he continues this form, succeeding in Europe right now, I think there's a very good opportunity he can make that plane ride to Qatar. We are heading on over to the Netherlands now to take a look at Charles-Andreas Brym, who started over the weekend and played 90 minutes as a right winger in a 3-4-3 system. In the match, Brym had 64 touches, 7 recoveries, he had 7 successful dribbles, and he completed 86% of his passes. Eindhoven went on to draw the match 1-1 and they now sit 3rd place in the table with a 5-4-0 record. Brym was very lively in this match, constantly running at the defenders. However, he will need to start finding some end product to his game as he only has 1 assist in 5 matches so far. Eindhoven have drew 3 matches in a row and 4 matches out of their last 5. Promotion is all that matters this season for Brym and for Eindhoven. I love seeing Brym out of Eindhoven. I think it's a match made in heaven, and if they can stick together, earn promotion, hopefully they'll be playing in the Eredivisie next season. Moving along now to Major League Soccer, we are going to take a look at a couple young, talented Canadian footballers. The first player is Jason Russell-Rowe and the second is Mo Farsi, who are both having spectacular seasons right now with the Columbus Crew too. Jason Russell-Rowe has won the league scoring race, and the two are playing in the MLS Next Cup final on October 8th against St. Louis City too. The two young Canadians impressed so much in MLS Next Pro that they were called up for the Crew's important match against the New York Red Bulls, and they didn't disappoint as both had a hand in the incredible comeback. Russell-Rowe was subbed into the match with 20 minutes to go, and Farsi was subbed in with 11 minutes to go as the Crew were down 1-0. Farsi assisted the tying goal, and Russell-Rowe had his shot rebound to a teammate to put home for the winning goal. Columbus went on to win the match 2-1 against New York Red Bulls to sit 8th place in the East with a 10, 15, and 7 record, tied on points with both Inter Miami and Orlando City. The two Canadian kids have the opportunity to go to the MLS Next Pro final to win that trophy and then join up with the first team to help them try to qualify for the MLS playoffs and then potentially go on another playoff run. I've really enjoyed watching both these players take a giant step in their career this season. They have the opportunity to lift some silverware, join up with the first team, and help them push for another MLS Cup. This is going to be a massive statement for both of them to try to get into the first team for next season and potentially become regulars in the starting 11 as well. Elsewhere in Major League Soccer, we are going to take a look at Raheem Edwards, who started for the LA Galaxy over the weekend. He played the first half before getting substituted out, starting as a left back in a 4-4-2 system. In the match, Edwards completed 82% of his passes, he had 37 touches, 7 clearances, 3 recoveries, and he had 2 interceptions as the Galaxy went on to draw RSL 1-1 to sit 4th place in the West with a 13, 8, and 12 record. That point was enough to secure the Galaxy's place in the postseason, and Edwards will have the opportunity to impress once again as he's looking to do so after being snubbed by Herdman for the September window. After missing out on the September window, Edwards went out and scored an absolute beauty, probably one of the best goals he's ever scored. He definitely is trying to make a statement to Herdman, and now he's going to have the opportunity to go into the MLS postseason, hopefully go on a deep run with the Galaxy, and definitely try to gain John Herdman's attention leading up to the World Cup. Jacob Shaffelburg was also in action over the weekend, starting and playing 85 minutes as a left mid in a 4-4-2 system for Nashville. In the match, Schaffelburg had 46 touches, he created 1 chance, he had 4 shots, 4 passes in the final third, and he had 5 recoveries as Nashville went on to lose the match 2-1 against Houston to sit 5th place in the West with a 12, 11, and 10 record. Despite the loss due to other results around the league, Nashville also qualified for playoffs, and this will be a big opportunity for Schaffelburg, just like Edwards, to go into the playoffs and hopefully try to impress, go on a deep run, and try to gain John Herdman's attention. This is a huge opportunity. Playoffs are massive in Major League Soccer, and if both of these players can try to impress, it will give them a huge boost to try to get on that plane ride to Qatar. Dayne St. Clair also started over the weekend in goal for Minnesota United in a 4-2-3-1 system. St. Clair made 4 saves, he had 30 touches, 7 recoveries, and he faced an XG of 1.69. He was scored on twice in the match as Minnesota went on to lose 2-0 against San Jose Earthquakes to sit 7th place in the West with a 13, 6, and 14 record. Minnesota were one of the hottest teams in the league, but they have lost 5 matches out of their last 6, drawing the other one. They currently hold on to the final spot in the West, and they will go down to the final match against the Vancouver Whitecaps. It's very simple. They basically need to win to have any opportunity of going into the postseason. If Minnesota United miss out on the postseason, there's no other word to describe this as a capitulation. They at one point looked like they were flying. They're up in 4th place. They looked very comfortable, playing very well, and then they just completely fell apart. A ton of results. In 6 matches, they picked up 1 point, and if they lose this final match against the Whitecaps, they'll have no one else to blame but themselves. That is all the time we have for this episode. I hope you all enjoyed it, and if you did, as always, be sure to drop a like, drop a sub as well. We are trying to get to 100,000 subscribers, so if you want to help us get there, dropping a sub will definitely do that. Also, be sure to subscribe over to One Soccer for all the best Canadian soccer coverage. My name is Josh Deming. Thank you all for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Cheers, friends.